Peach Calc.
Super Calc. Yeah.
So they were the guy that wrote Super Calc. His name is Gary Ballison, and he's a very funny guy. And his full-time job was writing real-time acquisition programs for torpedoes for the U.S. Navy. And that was his full-time job. So he was a very funny guy, very interesting guy, good friend now.
Do you have any idea? Right now, some Chinese software companies, they try to marketing some kind of software in the United States. You think is what kind of challenge they have?
Well, the challenge, they're going to have to hire somebody like myself that understands this market. I mean, there's a lot of people like me. I'm not the only person. So hire somebody that understands the market and how to launch into that market. You know, that's the. Look at if the Germans like SAP, because you have to meet these people who are not entrepreneurial like guys, can control 43% of the world market. I assure you. I don't know how many of you guys have spent a lot of time with German guys, but you're probably not the most fun people to be with you ever met in your life.
So looks like if they hire somebody like you, so that means you have interest to get it connected. If they try.
Sure,
to.
yeah.
Okay.
But people don't care where the software comes from. You know, I've had software development teams all in Europe, and we had Belfast, Northern Ireland, Israel. You know, just where I think you'd have a hard time launching because of the amount of pain that Indian companies have put corporations through in the United States. I think you would have a hard time coming to market with a piece of Indian software.
What about Chinese? Sorry.
No, not Chinese.
I mean, what compare with like Chinese software industry? My understanding is lagging behind the Indian because the
only guys I know well over there are China.com.
China.com. Okay.
You know, and I know those guys, and you know they're forward looking. I was saying to June earlier tonight, they all at least half my age, if not a third of my age, in the whole company. First time I went in there was 4 or 5 years ago, and I was amazed.
And then the Chinese internet company is doing pretty well, right? Compared, I mean, if you look at Nasdaq, there's a lot of Chinese companies. But in terms of pure software development, there's really not many products come out from China. And also, if you say the outsourcing, also India is much advanced because it's a big industry, right? So China, I don't know.
It might be, it might be bigger, but it's just not well thought of. People do it for money, to save money, but there's been enough disasters. Satayam, was a huge disaster that left a lot of projects in the middle of nowhere, in bank and finance. So I think that the Euro-American business community is very leery of India now. Or at least people that I know. So I know McKesson wouldn't do one again. I know Per Se wouldn't do one again.
Do you think that's opportunity for the Chinese entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
So for the SAP, is originally from Germany. Is written in Germany or written in English?
Written in Germany. In fact, let me tell you how bad it still is. All of the fields are in German. Customer starts with a K.
Okay.
Really? What's in German? What is
all the fields are still in German.
All the fields start in German.
So the word customer doesn't start with C, it starts with K.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, it's very. We talk about K fields and all these different things, and it's because it's still in, they're German. So the file names are German.
Oh, of course. I mean, German developer. How would you expect?
Well, actually, when we do them and do a translation,
we
transmit. We convert to whatever the.
We're not talking about documentation. We're talking about the source code.
Source code.
Yeah, source code should be in German because if it's a German developer, they don't.
But that's not how we do things.
not how we do things. But the most of the Germans seem to be,
Yeah.
they speak good English. I mean, not most, I suppose.
They do speak good
do.
English,
do,
yeah.
yeah.
They
But
speak
still,
good English,
you know,
but still
German
the
is not their
software.
mother
so-
tongue, so.
I find it, whenever I've heard that, the first time I heard that, I was like, you're serious.
Because you got this American-centric view that everything should be in English, but, you know, like.
No, just whenever you do a source code, you know, whatever, when you do a translation, you translate, well, first of all, you write it as a table, right? So you translate the table and then it repopulates everything. And they just don't do that. Just-
Carl, looking back, you see, I know you are going to retire third time or maybe fourth time, but look back, if there, you see, if you want to redo it again, did you want to seize the opportunity with Microsoft? I know you one time you see you look at them grow up. So any opportunities you see, if you want to do it again, you want to seize. I mean,
I had a chance to buy, what's the small accounting company? No,
Sage?
no, not Sage.
Intuit.
No,
Intuit.
Intuit.
No,
I
Intuit.
got a chance to buy Intuit when I was at Mygent for $1,600,000.
Yeah.
They were in deep trouble, they were out of cash, and I passed. And now they're worth $3.5 billion.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I always regret, you know, so.
Why did you pass the?
I just looked at it and went,
You
you know,
should have
I was
all
used to
this
buying software for next to nothing.
here.
$1.6 million seemed like
Too much
It's
for
too
you.
much for you.
too much for me, yeah.
Ah,
I was used to paying, you know, 5 cents on the dollar, 3 cents on the dollar.
too greedy.
And, no, I just didn't, I was like, hey, you know, I'm not sure you're worth that much money. You know, a few years later, when Microsoft tried to buy them for $3.5 billion or whatever it was, I was like, oh, you know. So if I have regrets, that's one regret I have. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So.
So what you most proud of? What's your, you know,
Proud
moment?
of.
Oh gosh, I have a lot of things that I'm proud of. I guess I would have to say that I'm proud that people like Mike Daly, who was a Rome customer, called me in December, and I hadn't talked to him for 21 years, to tell me that I was the best person that he ever did business with in his whole career in business. And he was head of the Rome project at Allied Stores and Federated Department Stores. And it was $21 million deal. And he said that he learned from me not what a good company, you can't tell how good a company is until something goes bad. And we had an installation in a store that we were running out of real time, and so the people weren't getting dial tone, and so they were hitting the switch hook, which sends the I/O to the digital PBX, and everybody doing that gets so much in the way of I/O that the system would roll over and reset. So everybody's phone stopped working, every phone call that was going on stopped working. And I called the factory and said I needed this big piece of equipment, an AM-size cabinet, which is about 60 inches high and about 6 feet long and about 30 inches wide. And I hired a jet. It was down in Santa Clara. I just called the head of production, said, take it away from any customer. I don't care who it is. Whatever you've got on the dock, I want.